I have prided myself in being able to be objective and cover these sorts of issues.
This is ESPN's Malika Andrews.
The city is under a mandatory curfew after a grand jury decided not to indict 3 police officers in the shooting death of Breonna Taylor.
But when it is so clear that the system of objectivity in journalism is so whitewashed and doesn't account for the fact that when I am walking up the hill, my wonderful producer Melinda reminds me that Breonna Taylor was 26 and I am 25, and that could have been me.
The 26-year-old emergency room technician was shot 6 times in her apartment back in March by plainclothes police serving a drug warrant.
When Kyle Rittenhouse in Milwaukee, as a 17-year-old kills 2 people, yet 3 cops aren't directly charged for killing Breonna Taylor, it shows you how they feel about Black lives in America.
13-year NBA vet Jalen Rose.
Kentucky's attorney general said 2 of the officers were justified when they fired the shots that killed her.
Mr. President, I hope you can tell that Kentucky is Trump country.
It's tough. To be honest, I wasn't surprised by the verdict.
The Boston Celtics' Jaylen Brown.
I think that, this society, the way it was, built and the way the intentions was to never protect and serve, people of color.
We just witnessed another reminder of our devastating reality. Black and brown people can be murdered while sleeping in their home when they are neither the subject of an investigation or possess a criminal record. And the police responsible for taking an innocent human being's life will not be held accountable.
And the worldwide leader's Breonna Taylor.
They murdered her! They murdered her!
The NBA went on as scheduled yesterday, but for a league that is predominantly black, 81% per InterBasket.net, and views itself as the progressive sport of North America, there is no doubt the injustice Breonna Taylor and her family faced was fresh on the minds of every single player.
We learned today that the only charges against a former officer are for endangering Breonna Taylor's neighbors.
Yeah, that's right. Fall guy Brett Hankison, a shred of a man who has been credibly accused of sexual assault by multiple women. The same tiny person who quote-unquote resigned from the Lexington Police Department because his supervising sergeant Patrick McBride wrote, "Based on my observations and supervision of this officer for the past calendar year, I would not recommend him for reemployment at any time in the future." But he was hired, and he murdered Breonna Taylor. Louisville Sergeant John Mattingly, one of the 4 officers who should be behind bars, wrote in an email to his police department, "I know we did the legal, moral, and ethical thing that night." Is killing an innocent woman ethical, Sergeant?
The lawsuit against the officers claims the suspect they were searching for was already in custody.
Was it ethical when you already had your suspect in custody and this didn't have to happen? Sad how the good guys are demonized and criminals are canonized. I'm proof they do not care about you or your family, and you are replaceable. That is rich. Imagine being black in America, Mr. Mattingly. You do not deserve to be in this position, he wrote. The position that allows thugs to get in your face and yell, curse, and degrade you. Wait, where have I heard this before?
Mob violence. Radical left criminals, thugs, an angry mob. Dangerous thugs.
Per Mattingly's email, he went on to say, it goes against everything we were all taught in the academy. Newsflash, the academy needs reforming. Police departments across America need reforming. The allocation of funds should go to other departments, not to officers, so they can look like a faux pas Call of Duty character. Daniel Cameron, a disciple of Mitch McConnell and proud Confederate, brought this minimal punishment to drywall. And this comes on the 65th anniversary of the acquittal of the men who murdered 14-year-old Emmett Till. Black America suffered another punch to the gut by a justice system that too seldom provides anything approximating justice when the victim is black. The officers who killed Breonna Taylor will not be held accountable.